Hey everybody, welcome once again to WrestleMinute. My name is Jack Durakis, aka Loud and Noxious, ring announcer, commentator, 15-year veteran of the wrestling business. I've worked for companies such as Chikara, Ring of Honor, Evolve, Kaiju Big Battle, Bar Wrestling, Wrestle Circus, and a few more. Most of all, I am a big fan of professional wrestling. And it's a very sad day in professional wrestling today, as we're going to talk about the deaths of two wrestlers. The first one I'm going to talk about is Nikolai Volkoff. Nikolai Volkoff was, he had most of his big success in the 80s during the Hulkamania era. He was a very big part of the Hulkamania era during the height of the Soviet Union and when America was fighting Russia in movies like Rocky and Red Dawn, Hunt for Red October, on and on and on. Nikolai Volkoff was the perfect enemy for Hulk Hogan. He was billed as being from Russia and as a friend of Mikhail Gorbachev, and he also had an incredible tag team with the Iron Sheik as sort of the heel foreigners managed by Classy Freddie Blassie. The height of his career, in my opinion, would have been he was in the very first WrestleMania, WrestleMania 1, where him and the Iron Sheik won the tag team championships in a classic match that was a kind of a shocker because the heels beat the baby faces, Barry Windham and Mike Rotundo. Nikolai got started as a weightlifter. He was a very strong guy, often lifting guys over his head, and he was also he was immortalized with his own cartoon character on Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling. And those of you who know me know I'm a big fan of Saturday morning cartoons and Saturday morning cartoon nostalgia. He'll forever be immortalized on this classic, iconic cartoon that featured the likes of the Hulkster and Mean Gene and the Iron Sheik and Roddy Piper and Andre the Giant and Captain Lou and Junkyard Dog. In my opinion, the Mount Rushmore of wrestling. And later on in his career, he went on into singles competition. He teamed with Boris Zukov as the Bolsheviks. He was managed by Slick. I actually got to see Nikolai Volkoff a few times. One of the most memorable times was when I saw him wrestle with the Iron Sheik against the British Bulldogs, and it was a great classic tag team match that I saw in Baltimore, Maryland. He was 70 years old, but still, you never want to hear something like this happen to such a legendary wrestler, and of course, he is a member of the WWE Hall of Fame. The other wrestler we're going to talk about that passed away, the very untimely death of Brian Christopher, who was just 46 years old. Brian Christopher was best known for not only being the son of Jerry Lawler, but also for his tag team, Too Cool, with Scotty 2 Hotty, aka Scott Taylor. Brian Christopher got his start in Memphis. He went right into the wrestling business. I think he was like 16 years old, and he went by the name Brian Christopher. He didn't take the name Brian Lawler. He wanted to make a name for himself, and as you can see, he was very different from Jerry Lawler. Jerry Lawler kind of had that pot belly, and Brian Christopher had this chiseled physique, and he had a full head of hair. Good looking guy. He was a little on the short side for a wrestler, so of course when he went to the WWE, Vince put him in the light heavyweight category, where he competed against the likes of Taka Michinoku when the light heavyweight championship was a thing in the mid to late 90s. But he found his greatest success when he teamed with Scotty 2 Hotty, and they formed Too Cool, later on teaming with Rikishi and becoming a classic tag team during the Attitude Era. Everybody remembers them. They even won the WWF tag team titles, and it's a very sad story. Apparently he was in jail, hung himself, and he was later taken to the hospital where he was put on life support. And just my thoughts and prayers going out to the Lawler family, Jerry Lawler and his entire family. Please share your memories in the comment section below. Let's remember these two and what their huge contributions to the wrestling industry. I did get a chance to meet Brian Christopher at one point. I by no means knew him at all, but I was working a show in Nashville, Tennessee, and I got to meet him at a wrestling and anime convention. While he did seem a bit distracted on this particular afternoon, he also seemed like a really good guy to me, and it's just really sad. Gonna miss him and gonna miss Nikolai Volkoff, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.